Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So for those of you who didn't know, the update Aquatic has recently been released to the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, and well, what I thought we would do is use the new features and build a little aquarium, and then obviously upgrade it with some recent creations. So I did install this texture pack just to make the glass a little bit more pretty so that you can actually see through it, because let's face it, the normal glass texture you can't really see anything. So let's get building. Okay, so first things first, we need to create a better base because this just isn't going to cut it. And well, I'm going to use a combination of these blocks, mainly sand, and just throw some cobble and prismarine in there to give it a better texture. So yeah, I'm probably going to fast forward through this bit because it's going to be pretty time consuming. Okay, so now we can just go around and place in a little bit of detail using the cobble and the prismarine. And we're finished. So this is how it turned out. As you can see, I ended up not using the prismarine because, well, it just felt like it wasn't really fitting in. It was too green, like too bright in comparison to like the sand and stone that is a little bit more dull. But now that that's finished, we can start building our first decoration. And what I was thinking about doing is, you know, Squidward's house from SpongeBob? I was thinking about building one of those masks. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to build it like it is half submerged into the surrounding, like that's been sitting there and the sand and everything has been flowing over it. So we'll see how that turns out, and then we'll obviously give it a redstone upgrade. I'm not sure how big I should make it because I can't make it too small because then you won't be able to see the face, but I don't want to make it too big either. You know what, I might shift it a little bit more to the left here. Okay, so I've built the basic face, and yeah, I think this thing's going to look epic once it's finished. It's definitely going to stay. I kind of want to start like survival series and then I can just build that as my base. Oh, I've busted that glass again. Okay, but anyways, let me quickly finish this up and I'll see you guys in a second. Yes. Just yes. Oh man, I just love this thing. It looks so cool. I can't get over it. I did use some different colored glass in there just to make it a little bit more foggy because it didn't look like it looked like there was a bunch of light in there, but I'm pretty sure that that's just light mechanics of the game. So I did place in some glass here, some black and grey glass, just to get that effect. Okay, so now we're going to give this thing a redstone upgrade, and what I thought we could do is like every now and then create it so that eyes will pop out. So every now and then it will just, the eyes will pop out, look at you for a couple of seconds and then just disappear again. I think that could look pretty cool, especially because it has the red eyes. Okay, so how we're going to do this? Okay, so if I place a piston there and there, then I can place another one up here and they could just like move up and down. Will that work? Okay, no, this one's one too much. Well, many. Let me quickly grab a lever. Then goes up and then down again. Yeah, that might just work. On here, down here with our comparator, and if we quickly place in our 20 pufferfish, then this thing should activate. And okay, yeah, we need just a piece for it over here. And okay, yeah, it works. And it's not very often that you get a redstone creation that works on your first attempt, but apparently we've done it. Okay, let's wait. Okay, yeah, that definitely looks awesome, man. That looks great. Little red eyes. So yeah, that's our first decoration done and dusted. Now we can move on to something new. I'm probably going to, if you guys remember a while back, I did a tutorial on building a redstone clam that opens up and closes again. I think I should build that in here maybe over here or in the corner, because it's pretty small, so I can't really have it too far back. Okay, I think I'm going to build it in this little wheel that I've constructed over here earlier. Okay, so I'm just busy with the final touches of this thing's redstone, which, as you can see, is pretty simple, nothing fancy that's really going on there. And now we're just needing to place 2 comparators and put an item in the hopper, and it will be finished. Now I am going to make this one a little bit faster than the mask, because yeah, I don't want all of them to have the exact same timing. So yeah, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Yeah, that should be long enough. And yeah, so this thing is finished now. Yeah, it works. Now we have 2 of our decorations completed. Yeah, you know what, this mask really does dwarf the rest of this tank. It almost takes up a third of this thing. Okay, but anyways, what I want to build next is, you know, from Finding Nemo, in that aquarium they had like this giant volcano in the middle of the aquarium with like magma flowing off the sides of it. I want to try and recreate that and use actual magma blocks, and that will create a little bit of bubbles that will even give this thing a little bit more feel to it. But I'm not sure if this tank will be big enough, because I want to build it like in that area there, like off center to the left, because this thing really is just so giant. But there's no way that I can make it really any smaller, because otherwise the eyes wouldn't work out. Okay, so I guess we can try, and if it does feel a little bit squished in, we can always just expand the tank out to the left over here. So yeah, let's get building. So I've started on the base here, and now I'm just kind of debating over if it is maybe a little bit too big. I know it's the volcano and it's supposed to be like the centerpiece, but these 2 blocks are very similar, and they kind of, yeah, I'm not sure, because the tank is only like this high, and I want to make like the volcano erupts like little bubbles or whatever. And if I create it higher than this mask, then you'd only have like 3 or 4 blocks to actually see the bubbles in. So I just don't know. Okay, I'm going to create a tank. I'm going to expand our tank a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 blocks higher, because as I said, the volcano needs to be higher than the mask, but the mask is already so big that I may end up just creating like this, turning the tank into a square. That might work too. I don't know. Let's make it higher, and then we'll see how it will look. I think this thing might be done. We can throw in the magma now. Just, oh come on, just the final touches, and maybe another grey concrete block over here, and down here. And I think this thing, the main structure, is now completed. Yeah, I think that looks great. I would say that looks pretty cool. I ended up using only the magma blocks because what I forgot was the fact that they were going to be stacked up on top of one another, so they won't create that much bubbles. And if all else fails, the water on top of the magma blocks needs to be a water source block for it to generate bubbles. So if all else fails, we could just like place a block and remove it again, and then they also shouldn't remove bubbles. So yeah, I'm speechless. It came out so much better than I was expecting. And that should just do the trick. How often do we want this thing to erupt? I think every 14 items. Yeah, I think that should be enough. Hopefully, does this thing work? That's the big question. Okay, yeah, it does. So how it works is we just basically have a upper clock down there, and then what happens is that we have a burnout clock down here, and basically all that this tower does is it updates the redstone, which updates the burnout clock. This is actually not necessary. And then it updates this block, that redstone, and that causes the dispenser to shoot if we place something inside it. Yes, it does work. I'm just going to temporarily have to break this just so that I can get it out of here. But now our volcano is finally finished, if I can just find my way out. Now I'm not going to fill up the contents. I'm going to be using like any orange colored block, like maybe redstone blocks, some magma cream and stuff like that. But I'm not going to fill it up yet because there's still a couple of things we need to do, and then the dispenser is just going to be going empty for no reason, and yeah, we don't want that to happen. So we'll fill it up later. But now I think we're ready to put the water in this thing. I think we can throw the water in this thing. So apparently infinite water sources isn't a thing anymore. I don't know, maybe it's just me because look, and even if I like remove this one, yeah. So that's a thing of the past. That's going to make this a whole lot more difficult. Oh well. Do you think I need to put water source blocks everywhere on the top? Because I mean, I do need to place the source blocks where I'm going to be planting things like kelp and where the magma is, but you know what, I think I'm just going to leave the water flowing like this, because otherwise this is going to be taking forever. Because yeah, not being able to create the water like that infinite water source, yeah, because now I'm going to have to somehow place water in here too to stop the water from flowing. And I guess you can kind of like do that and then place water down, but that's literally going to take me hours to do. So I think I might just leave it flowing like that for the time being. Maybe I'll place in the water. Okay, let me finish this off and then I'll decide. It's going to be a long day. Okay, so quick update. Apparently they don't need to be water source blocks anymore, so I might still swap them out for some nether warts, because that's a lot of bubbles. If I'm going to be honest, they take up a lot of the space. You can barely see the volcanoes through them. So yeah, I think I might swap out some of them for nether warts. But let me just quickly still need to finish this thing off and It's taking forever. It's been about 15 minutes since the last clip, so but yeah, it's just this last piece now. So then I can finally call the water placing done. Wait, does that mean that I also don't need to have water source blocks all the way if I want to place in kelp? Please tell me that's the case. Wait, where is kelp even? Okay. Let's no. Let's quickly see. Please tell me. No. Why can I get bubbles without water source blocks? Which I don't want, but I still need the source block if I want to place kelp, which we do want to do. So more water placing for me, I guess. Okay, so we finally have placed all of the water in the top here, and I can see absolutely nothing down here. But we're going to at least try and swap out some of these magma blocks for our nether wart blocks, because there's just way too much bubbles down here. Yeah, I can see it already looks better now that we... You know what? I think I might actually swap out all of the magma. I did not think this through, did I? What's the probability of the redstone being unaffected by this? That's luck. That's solid luck right there. Well, to be honest, there isn't really too much redstone going on here to begin with, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do this now. You know what? I'm just going to do all of the blocks, swap them out for the nether blocks, and then I'll just fix up the redstone. Because if I'm going to have to worry the whole time that I'm possibly going to flood the whole place, I'm going to take forever in order to finish this thing then. So yeah, I think I'm just going to finish or fix the redstone afterwards. This is literally going to take forever. Not as long as placing the water though, but this is going to be taking pretty long. What I use here? Was it cyan terracotta? Yeah. Why do you do that to me? Okay. I actually used the grey concrete, but you know what? It looks fine. Wasn't that stream of magma connected to something? I think it was connected there. I'm going to connect it up anyway. Once we're finished here, then we can finally go and decorate the whole place. I actually think that I'm not going to be using the coral anymore, because I forgot that there is, the coral, but not the coral blocks, the actual that are like plants. So I think I might use them instead. Maybe a combination of the two. I'm not sure yet, but the good thing about not having the coral blocks is I don't have to go through trouble of designing some kind of plant, and there isn't really that much space down here anymore. So I think the small coral plants will do just fine. I'm probably going to delete this. I'm not even sure if this is going to be in the video or if I'm just going to do like status update. Oh hey look, we swapped out the magma. Okay, so we have finished swapping out the magma for the nether warts, and I've also just dotted a couple of magma blocks here and there, and yeah, the bubbles really does make a difference as long as they're spread out, not like they were around the volcano. But anyway, these are the coral that I was talking about earlier, and no, I don't need a source block. How do they look? Do they all look the same? Yeah. Can I place them on top one? Okay, no. So I think I am going to need to use the coral blocks to, yeah. I'm definitely not going to use these fans though, because they're really flat, you don't really notice them. So I'm quickly going to place a couple of coral blocks around and just see how they look, and maybe throw in a couple of kelp and seagrass in the mix too. I'm definitely going to put the kelp in because they're really cool waving around like that. So I'll see you in a second again. Okay, so we have finished placing all of the coral. As you can see, I used a combination of all of them, and I did not know, but apparently the fan coral you can place on the side of blocks to let them do that. I did not know that. They look actually pretty cool. So now we're just going to go around and just wherever there's still some spaces left, we're going to place some seagrass in. You know what? Can you use bone meal on these? Okay, you can. If I once again have, yeah, okay, I'm definitely going to do that. I might need to, or do I? Because I'm going to have the kelp that's going to be high. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to keep them the one block high, and I'll think that will do the trick, because the kelp needs to be the ones that are high, because I don't want really, the main focus needs to be on the decorations, not the plants really. So I'm just going to go around and just for the next couple of minutes placing some seagrass here and there, and maybe some kelp. I'm starting to question if I should or shouldn't, because the coral really did a lot more than I was expecting it to do. So I don't want this thing to look too cramped and just have too much stuff in it. Do you think that's unrealistic? The lava over there with plants growing next to it. Okay, I actually think that might be enough seagrass, because I mean, of course we can just cover up the entire floor of the thing with it, but yeah, I think that's enough of the seagrass for now. Okay, now we're going to go through the painful process of having to place more water, just so we can place some kelp. So yeah, I'll see you again in a second. Guys, it has finally been finished, our Minecraft Redstone Aquarium. Up first we have this, our beautiful mask that will occasionally, like this doing now, peek out at us, and there it's gone. It's really cool, and I'm still extremely proud of this thing. Up next we have our small little clam that actually has a bunch of redstone that sticks out the bottom here, but I obviously couldn't fit this into the tank because, well, yeah. But as you can see, it will open and close periodically, just like the actual thing. And finally we have our volcano that will occasionally erupt. I think this thing looks great. Look there, it does just erupt. I think this thing looks really amazing. It turned out really cool, and I'm glad we swapped out the magma blocks for the nether quartz, because yeah, the more dull texture of the nether quartz, not nether quartz, the nether, what do you call those plants things that grows in the nether. But anyway, I think this thing looks really cool, and this might just be my new wallpaper. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Bloop!